She literally took me by the shoulders and shook me and was like, we're not asking anyone for money. We're giving them the opportunity to invest in a business that we're going to make very successful, and they're going to be very rich because of it.
First of all, I wanted to congratulate you on your recent fundraising round, which took away to a valuation of over 1 billion US dollars. Yeah. Tell me, how does it feel to be a unicorn?
Well, it feels pretty damn good. Um, and I'll tell you why. I think there's a lot of talk just now about knowing your value. And my co-founder, Steph, and I have built a team that works so hard to, create amazing products and build a brand and a community that really stands for something bigger than just luggage. And there is something that feels very good about having that external validation in the form of an investor's valuation really match what you're building on the inside. And it also feels great because of the 25 or so companies that have reached unicorn status this year, 7 of them have been founded by women, which is incredible, but still not enough. But we also feel this great responsibility that if we are part of that group of women who've reached billion-dollar valuations, and we can show traditional white male VCs that it can be done, and they look for pattern recognition, then we're opening the door up for the next generation of women entrepreneurs. So that feels really good too.
Incredible, well done. Okay, tell us about Away. What is it? Where did the idea come from?
So the idea came from a broken suitcase. I was traveling, my bag exploded in Zurich airport. It's quite embarrassing. And when I got home, I asked my very stylish, very well-traveled group of friends for a recommendation. And I've literally the most annoying friends. They have recommendations for everything. And nobody had one. I think, every people who were on planes every single week, they're like, oh, I actually don't know what brand I have, or they're like, I got this as a gift or as a hand-me-down from my mother. And it really got me thinking about how just in the luggage landscape, everything was either super expensive and not very practical, or more affordable, but you knew it was going to break. And I chatted with Steph, who's now my co-founder, about it. And we also realized that there was a gap in the market for a travel brand that really thinks about travel the way all of us in this room do, and a travel brand that cares about experiences and not just the actual product itself. So I think those two things, thinking about the gap in the market for a specific product and then the brand that didn't exist, really led us to create Away to what it is today.
Can you give us one example of where you had customer feedback and then you enacted something from what someone had said?
Yeah, so the first product we ever launched was just a carry-on suitcase. We looked at all of the airline measurements of what you could make, and we made a bag that fit exactly that. And then we started getting a bunch of returns and a bunch of emails saying, hey, the carry-ons for these brands or this brand is bigger, and I really wanted something. And we're scratching our heads thinking, well, we've made this bag exactly to the airline specifications, so how could this be? We actually went to the airport and started measuring all of the sizers in the airports, and we realized that the sizers were like a little bit bigger than the measurements. So we made a second product, which is now our most popular product. It's like half our sales, and our sales are $300 million. This product came because we got this feedback from our customers. We started measuring. We realized that we had about an inch all around to make it bigger. We built the product in a way that it was like 10 to 15% more capacity than the regular carry-on. And that became our most popular products.
Can you tell us about how important social media is to Away and to the storytelling element of the brand?
Yeah, so our approach to building a brand has always been through telling a story. I always say that your brand, you can tell the story of your brand and what you want people to think, but at the end of the day, your brand is what people say about you. Mm-hmm. So if you look at it that way, social media is by far one of the most important channels we have, because that's how people tell stories.
This is a question from the audience. What hurdles have you had during funding rounds, and what practical advice do you have to get through that process?
So we've raised $156 million
Wow.
total in equity funding. And let me tell you, that first $25,000 was probably the hardest. So I kind of went into it, and I'm very lucky to have a business partner who just sees things completely different than me, always. And I kind of went into it, going to investors and feeling weird about asking for money. And I was just like, I don't know. I was always raised to not ask for money and to not do this. And she literally took me by the shoulders and shook me and was like, we're not asking anyone for money. We're giving them the opportunity to invest in a business that we're going to make very successful, and they're going to be very rich because of it. Wow. And I think that simple, which ended up happening. But I think that, but that's one that's hard to believe when you haven't done anything yet. Yeah. We were like two girls with a keynote presentation.
Did you have a product yet?
No, we didn't have, the prototype wasn't even ready. So we were just there was a very much, a sense of imposter syndrome of what are we doing? Who's going to believe us? Why are we raising money? And I think that simple shift in perspective of this is an incredible business opportunity and we're in this to make ourselves and to make our investors successful really reframed the way we went into those pitches. It gave me a newfound sense of confidence, and it just let me approach it as what it was, which is a business opportunity. And that also made the no's a lot easier.
Tell me, are you always on for work or do you ever switch off?
So I think there's this misconception of you're on or off, and I think that's what always made me feel really horrible. I would go on vacation and I'd be like, okay, well, I can't, I'm not allowed to check my phone or my email. I'm supposed to be switched off. And I actually would be so miserable because I would have work FOMO, or there'd be something I was really excited about. And that, I wanted to know what was going on. And and that's a really lucky position to love what you're doing so much that you want to know what's going on. But I think I realized it's just about what works for you. What I realized when I go on vacation is I like to check in the morning, on the things I care about and not the things that people are putting on my list. Yeah. And then I check in maybe a bit later in the day, and then that's enough to make me feel good and to make me feel relaxed. Because I also don't like that feeling of dread when you're coming back from vacation and you're oh my God, what's happened?
And now tell me, what are your dreams for Away? Where is the business going next? And can you talk a little bit more about your plans for Australia?
Yeah. So with this latest round of funding, we're focusing on a few major things. So one, and the thing I'm very, very excited about is product line expansion. So we've always had a bigger vision for the brand to be more than just luggage. So we eventually want to make not just the bags that you take with you, but everything that you put into those bags. And now we're not guessing about what those things are, because we have lots of customers telling us what great travel apparel looks like, what wellness and skincare looks like for the travel space. And those are some of the first categories that we'll be going into. Lots of plans to open retail stores, big plans to expand our international business. So over the next 3 years, we want to 10x our international business from what it is today. And Australia is a big part of that.